I'm Abby Hayes, and this is my informative speech. So this is my audience. They're all attending my speech. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a quote. This is from a Liberty College student. "A guardian ad litem changed my life. She listened to me and eased my fears when no one else could." This is said by someone who is forever impacted by a guardian ad litem. So we're going to talk about advocacy attorneys. They're allowed to act in the place of a child in court, and so you can place them in proper homes and proper foster care situations. You can represent the voiceless. It's a rewarding career because you're able to follow them throughout their lives and see what the impact that you made in their childhood and how it carries into the future. I'm able to speak on this because not only have I interviewed guardian ad litems, done extensive research on the field, but I'm also preparing to become a guardian ad litem. So this brings me to my visual aid. This is the LSAT prep book. This is the intro test that you have to take to get into law school. So I have to study this, go through it, research everything to take this to prepare myself to get into law school to actually become a guardian ad litem. I want to talk about that if you want to make a difference in the lives of children legally, you should become a guardian ad litem. It can help you meet a tangible need for children that are unable to afford representation otherwise. So I have 3 main points throughout this presentation, and we're going to start with the first one. Guardian ad litems can alter the course of a child's life by representing them in court. And so first we're going to talk about what is a guardian ad litem. We're going to define it. So the legal definition is the person that the court appoints to investigate what solution should be for the best interest of a child. So the court appoints an attorney for free, so the children or the parents do not have to pay, so they can legally act in the best interest of a child to make the best choice. So they would decide things like where the child should live, if they're being harmed by the current people they're living with, and what rights they'll have to see their parents, if they will ever see their parents, stuff like that. So now that we know more about guardian ad litems, let's explore why people are in need of such representation. So many children and families live in poverty throughout the United States, and they don't have access to proper legal representation. Because guardian ad litems are hired by the state, they're able to do this for free and serve the families with lower incomes. So there right now is a current 438,000 foster care children in America. Each of those need to be represented by a guardian ad litem to receive proper placement with proper legal knowledge. There is also a statistic that 80% of civil legal needs go unmet by those that live in poverty. So guardian ad litems need to represent those that cannot afford it otherwise. And the last statistic I want to present you with is that there are 1 million children each year that go through divorce. That's 1 million children that need to be represented by guardian ad litems because sometimes parents are so selfish to make the correct decision for where the child should go. So this brings me to my closing point. Guardian ad litems have the unique ability to impact the life of a child by acting in their best interest. They're able to give a voice to the voiceless, and this is what God prompts us to do in Scripture. So if you read Proverbs, especially 31:8-9, God tells us to speak out on behalf of the voiceless and give rights to those that are vulnerable and in poverty. This is exactly what a guardian ad litem is doing. They're taking their place for a child, and they're representing them and giving them rights that they would not have otherwise or even know otherwise. They're making them aware of their opportunity. The second thing that God calls us to is protect and cherish his children. This is seen multiple times throughout the Bible, specifically Psalm 127:3-5 and Proverbs 22:5. And lastly, I want to talk about Hosea 6:12. So now come back to your God. Act with justice and love. Always depend on him. God calls us to provide justice and love. In fact, if you open Psalms, you can open the book and see hundreds of times that God mentions justice. We need to bring God's justice to earth, and guardian ad litems do this every day by acting in the place of the less fortunate that could not afford attorneys otherwise. So this brings me to my conclusion. Guardian ad litems are a needed profession, and it's desirable because you get to give back and use your knowledge for good. So many people think lawyers are only used to make big business deals or large lawsuits, and it's a money-making field. But actually, guardian ad litems are able to humbly serve the state for what the children need. And so I just want to ask you guys, are you interested in combining justice with representing the voiceless? Becoming a guardian ad litem gives attorneys the opportunity to use legal knowledge and the gospel combined to show love to children. This is an opportunity that you want to take. Consider becoming a guardian ad litem today. Thank you.